name is Michelle Reddy and I work at the Fiji Women's Fund as a fund manager. I'm also a graduate of the Fiji Women's Rights Movement's leadership program for feminists, which is called the Emerging Leaders Forum. I'm part of that alumni, and my contribution today is towards a series of videos that they're making looking at alumni experiences in the context of the COVID-19 pandemic. I think the initial reactions I had was, of course, there's immense fear, disbelief, a sense of loss as well. And now I think I've come to a point where I've finally gone into a cycle of acceptance. You know, there's this general acceptance that life is not going to be as normal as what we thought to be. And I think other things that I've been doing during the lockdown in Fiji has been spending a lot of time gardening. Like, gardening has really been a place of solace for me. I've also spent quite a bit of time walking and trying to run, and also looking at spending more time with my fur babies. Those have really been, I think, a sense of, or has provided a sense of security and comfort for me. The Fiji Women's Fund is the only women's fund that's in Fiji, and also one of the 2 women's funds that's based and works in the Pacific region. I think that the role of women's funds is quite critical in the Pacific. I mean, and especially during this time, I think that we as a women's fund are connected to the women's movement, and that connection builds on trust and responsibility. And that also means that we're able to hear experiences of our partners and their needs, and use our role as a women's fund to then influence the flow of resources towards the needs and experiences of our grantee partners. I think that we've been hearing a lot of great stories from our grantee partners around community resilience. There is definitely, I think, a lot more commitment towards working together as a community. You know, what we are hearing from some of our partners is looking at the creation of cooperative gardens or community gardens as a form of food security. There's also a lot more giving that's happening. A lot of people in Fiji have been affected by the downturn in the tourism industry, and a lot of people have lost their employment, and so there is a lot more giving within families, but also among strangers. I mean, there's also this really great tradition of going back to bartering that's happening. So a couple of our community members have talked about how they're bartering for goods and services without the use of cash. There's also a lot more openness as a form of resilience towards seeking psychosocial and trauma healing. I think in Fiji, our grantee partners have been heavily impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic, and also been at the same time been affected by the tropical cyclone Harold. So, you know, those two happening at the same time has meant that a lot of our grantee partners are looking at new ways of supporting each other. I'm truly motivated by Arundhati Roy's talk that she calls the pandemic is a portal, and it really she talks about how you view the pandemic as an opportunity of envisioning a new world, a new way of working, and a new way of dreaming that really takes into consideration helping and supporting the planet, and helping and supporting each other and other beings on the planet. And I feel like that sort of outlook on the pandemic is important, and that's how I'm choosing to guide and shape my heart, mind, body and soul in terms of envisioning a new world and fighting towards keeping a new form of being.